Good afternoon, and welcome to the Oregon Department of Human Services Self-Sufficiency Program Training and Informational on Vision into Action. We hope you find this video helpful in understanding Vision into Action messaging both internally and externally. We encourage you to reach out to us if you have any questions or feedback that you have. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to the Vision into Action online module, where you'll learn about ODHS self-sufficiency programs, priorities and plans for 2024. Vision into Action describes SSP's journey alongside the people we serve to end poverty in Oregon. Here are our learning objectives. By the end of the training, you will be able to state the purpose of Vision into Action, explain how Vision into Action directly impacts the work you do now, and explain how Vision into Action will impact your work in the future. By the end of the training, you'll also be able to make use of the Vision into Action guide to complete a personal action plan, locate resources to help you with incorporating Vision into Action in your work, and demonstrate understanding of and support for SSP's direction in 2024 by developing and implementing a personal action plan that is specific to your work position. SSP is transitioning to focus on helping people in Oregon achieve economic stability. We know that poverty keeps people from achieving well-being and often is transferred from generation to generation. Vision into Action focuses SSP's commitment to do our part to end poverty in Oregon alongside state, federal, community and funding partners, the 9 tribes of Oregon, and the people we serve. This strategy will guide us through 2024 while ODHS develops an agency-wide strategic plan. We'll use Vision into Action as the foundation to develop a more comprehensive strategic plan for SSP in the future. Vision into Action overview. We all know that there's a lot of change and a lot of work happening in ODHS and SSP. So why now? In 2023, ODHS took major steps to consolidate all human services eligibility functions into a single program called Oregon Eligibility Partnership, or OEP. This shift created an opportunity for SSP to clearly define a new path forward by prioritizing actions to alleviate poverty and support individual and family well-being. We have learned a lot together about how to best serve Oregonians. As we learn, we grow and change our practices. Click each tab to reveal how SSP's approach to work is growing and changing. Before, we often focused on eligibility and participation, not outcomes, operated with a punitive model, and assumed that we know best. Now, we're trying to connect eligibility processes as the first step to economic supports. Engage community. Partner to show up as one ODHS. Increase focus on prevention, and meet the needs identified by the people we serve. In the future, we're shifting to focus on access and economic stability, mobility, and well-being, and ensuring all our policies, programs, and service delivery are rooted in equity and focused on positive outcomes. As in the past, we won't get everything right all at once, but we'll commit to listening, trying new approaches, and continuing to learn from mistakes as we move toward better service delivery. This spirit is at the heart of Vision into Action, and every employee in SSP has a role to play. Vision into Action goals. Vision into Action has 4 goals. Get ready to explore the goals and see stories of individuals and their families and how each goal relates to them and their lives. Click Next to start watching the videos. When you're ready, click Play to start the first of our 4 videos. Welcome to this Vision into Action goal. In this video, we'll talk about our goal to offer services that lift people out of poverty and keep them from experiencing poverty in the first place. At its core, SSP is about helping people achieve economic stability so they can thrive and reach their full potential. This kind of work is ambitious, and it takes time. Many people we serve are in crisis. Their time and energy go toward meeting urgent needs, like paying this month's rent or making sure their children have enough to eat. We work with them to find immediate solutions. At the same time, we're also keeping in mind that our vision aims to make a long-lasting difference for Oregon families and communities. Doing anti-poverty work means helping people move from crisis to surviving to thriving. Anti-poverty work helps prevent people returning to a cycle of poverty in the future. This happens when people access resources from ODHS, community partners, tribal governments, and other funding streams. Meet Larry. Larry's a father with 2 school-aged children who was struggling to make ends meet for his family. School staff noticed that Larry's children were frequently absent, and they alerted a family coach who was stationed part-time at the school. The family coach connected with Larry and shared resources that Larry didn't know were available, like free lunches, community childcare support, employment and training services through TANF, and how to apply if he was interested. When Larry signed up for SNAP and TANF, he received parent education and support services through Family Support and Connections. He also received flexible support funding for work clothes and gas vouchers. The final outcome was that these additional resources helped Larry's family achieve a more stable financial footing. The next goal story is waiting for you. Start the video when you're ready. Welcome to this Vision into Action goal. In this video, we'll talk about our goal to have our policies and practice reduce the racial wealth gap and support each person served to achieve financial stability. Let's talk about the racial wealth gap. Over time, wealth is passed along from generation to generation, and often so are the barriers that lead to poverty. The racial wealth gap is the large difference in wealth between different racial groups caused by many historical and ongoing discriminatory practices. It's important to note that in the US, the average Black and Hispanic or Latino households earn about half as much as the average white household. Also, Black and Latino households own only about 15 to 20% as much net wealth as white households. We simply must address policies and practices that have disproportionately impacted some communities, honor tribal sovereignty, diversify our workforce to reflect who we serve, and use data to measure if access to our services and benefits is equitable. Meet Jada. Jada is a third-generation Oregonian whose grandparents migrated here in the 1940s. Due to discriminatory banking practices, Jada's grandparents were unable to get a loan to purchase a house, so they rented instead. In the next generation of Jada's family, rising rent costs forced Jada's parents to move into neighborhoods with lower quality amenities and poorer education services. Government services weren't welcoming or culturally specific, so Jada's family didn't seek support. Now a parent with a daughter of her own, Jada is struggling to find affordable housing and a job that will pay enough to cover the cost of childcare. Through a community organization she was involved with, Jada learned about some available support services. The organization connected her to a family coach. The coach spent time listening to Jada, learning about the unique barriers she faced and her goals for the future. They worked together to build a plan and apply for benefits and services, including career training and childcare, and they also mapped a path to financial stability. Through family support and connections, Jada also received parenting, education, and budget skills training from a culturally specific community provider. By creating time to process what Jada felt was best for her and her family, she was able to start on a path that would allow her more economic stability in the future. Get ready for another individual story. When you're ready, click play. Welcome to this Vision into Action goal. In this video, we'll talk about our goal to ensure our holistic services are tailored to connect people with future-focused skills, training, and education to secure stable and well-paying jobs connected to their long-term goals. When working with people on their goals, we listen, honor lived experience, and collaborate to ensure they achieve their goals to the extent possible. These goals will be formed and set by the individual with ODHS navigation support and may or may not include seeking an immediate job. Meet Carlos. He is 19, speaks both English and Spanish fluently, and comes from a family who immigrated to the US when Carlos was 12. Carlos stopped going to school when he was 17 and left home shortly thereafter, staying with friends when a sofa was available. A culturally specific community organization connected Carlos with resources, and eventually he was accepted into the Direct Cash Transfer pilot, an initiative supported financially and structurally by the Youth Experiencing Homelessness Program, or YEHP, but integrated within the cultural organization. With support from YEHP staff, Carlos received consistent and reliable monthly payments of $1,000. This was coupled with housing navigation supports and budgeting assistance from the community organization. These supports helped Carlos secure an apartment, complete his GED, and begin a trade program at his local community college, all without feeling stressed about finances. Our last look at Carlos finds him saving some money for the future when the direct cash transfer payments end. Lastly, SSP staff also provided Carlos with connections with community and ODHS resources in Spanish to share with his parents. Here's our final goal and story. When you're ready, start the video. Welcome to this Vision into Action goal. In this video, we'll talk about our goal to ensure our case management, resource navigation support, and referrals are accessible and equitable so people can address the barriers unique to them. We recognize that each person's stories, needs, strengths, and goals are unique, and therefore we must ensure flexible support services that are trauma-informed, culturally respectful, and that meet the needs of the individual where they are. We provide access to services in familiar community settings that are culturally specific, with communications that are easy to understand and in the language preferred by the person being served. For individuals and families, our orientation is get to solutions. We do that by rethinking, being innovative, and working with federal and state regulations to meet the needs of the people we serve. Meet Melissa. Prior to her first appointment, Melissa was completing her application in the lobby when she confided in the person at the front desk that she wasn't sure how the meeting was going to go since she had her young children with her and they were very active. To help them feel welcome and comfortable, the support staff spoke directly to the children, asking them about their favorite movie and showing them the children's area with toys and books. The staff also showed Melissa a resource section in the lobby with items donated by community partners. Since the conference room was open, the staff asked the family coach and then Melissa if they would prefer to meet there to create a better space for safety and privacy. The end of the story is that Melissa appreciated that she wouldn't have to be so focused on keeping the kids quiet and could engage more fully in the discussion with the family coach, so they could work together to make a thoughtful plan. Vision into Action input. We asked community partners and the 9 Tribes of Oregon to share their experiences with service delivery and what needs to improve. We also received recommendations from about 1,300 SSP and OEP staff in a survey last fall. Next, we'll look at what we heard. Click the icons to listen to Vision into Action input from community partners and the 9 Tribes of Oregon. Connect with your community partners, be present at events offered, build up relationships with agencies that have deep connections with communities. Improve the use of plain language, translation services, and taking into account a variety of literacy levels. SSP staff need a high level of empathy. Actually verbalize how hard things can be in life with rent, food, trauma, maybe signs that say we do know and we do care. Click the icons to listen to survey responses from SSP and OEP staff. Working with Oregonians where they are in life, engaging from a trauma-informed lens, providing clients with necessary accommodations, communicating and listening with empathy. Treating my employees with respect, valuing their input and ideas, encouraging all staff to bring their experiences to the team. When we're community-based, we serve our neighbors better. How we reach our goals. How we get to our goals matters. These principles reflect the direction that ODHS is going to achieve whole well-being. Here are some examples of what these principles might look like in action. Click each card for examples. Lead with equity. Make sure communication materials are culturally appropriate. and in the language spoken by the individual we're serving. Partner and collaborate. SSP alone can't solve every problem. Work with community and faith organizations to put on a monthly resource fair. Honor lived experience. Take the time to really listen to the experience of individuals and families. Learn what they want and need, and work alongside them to map out a plan. Grow and support a diverse workforce. Ensure that interview panels are diverse and trained in recognizing personal bias. Vision into Action Guide. Let's begin with a message from SSP Director Claire Seguin. When you're ready, please click play to start the video.
Hi everyone, my name is Claire Seguin. I use she/her pronouns, and I'm the Self-Sufficiency Director here at ODHS. I'm so excited to be able to talk to you today about the launch of our Vision into Action Guide. So this guide is really built on all of the feedback that you have given us. It's feedback from our tribal partners, it's feedback from the community about how to serve the folks that we want to serve the most, to help families and individuals achieve well-being. We've been working on our description of some of this work, and we've sort of bucketed it out into 3 different areas. We call them the 3 Ps, and it's people, policy, and practice. So the people part of it is that we want them to experience the very best of innovative, wraparound case management that we can possibly provide. The policy side of things is that we want to help make changes that remove barriers to families accessing the services that they need. And then the practice piece is really the work that we do to let families and individuals drive their futures and tell us what they need. So you're going to be learning a lot more about Vision into Action in the online module trainings that we're going to have. We'll be talking about it in meetings. And of course, you're going to be learning from your managers all the time about the work that we're doing and how you can engage more. So we invite you to please think creatively, be open-minded, be solution-oriented, because it's going to take all of us together doing our work a little differently to reach all of the goals and objectives that we have for the Vision into Action and the Vision into Action Guide. So no matter what your role, you are important to the success of this effort. Whether you've been here for 2 months or 2 years, you all clearly demonstrate every day your commitment to our Vision into Action and the work that we do at ODHS. I want to thank you for the passion and the commitment that you bring every day to this work. We know that your efforts are supporting families and individuals all across the state of Oregon. We couldn't do it without you.
The Vision into Action Guide prioritizes specific actions for SSP leadership as we serve individuals and families in 2024. In the guide, there are examples of specific actions for staff. What that looks like for you as a staff, however, will vary by job type, position, and geographic location. On the next slide, we'll see how staff can find specific actions for their positions in the guide. Would you like to look up the actions for your position? If you have 2 monitors and would like to follow along, please take a moment to prepare by opening the Vision into Action Guide using the link. When you're ready, please click Next. Click the play button to start the video. Here we are in the Vision into Action Guide. Let's imagine I'm a business operations specialist and I want to find examples of actions I might take. First, I'll scroll down 1 page to the table of contents. Then click on the Appendix A link. That takes us to the Appendix A page with a list of job positions. You might see your position here. I'll click on the Business Operations Specialist link. And we're taken to example actions for business operations specialists. These examples are not exhaustive lists or directions, but rather ideas to get us thinking. And these ideas were provided by staff in these positions. Next, we'll look at an example action for a business operations specialist. Business operations specialist's example. Customer service. It starts with us. The way we show up for our co-workers affects how our direct service workers show up for our clients. When sending communications, think about how to most clearly message and remove internal jargon. When we implement process and procedures, think about who is affected and what those effects could be. If a process only benefits you, is it a process improvement or just the way you want things done? What can you do? As we work together to implement this action guide, we will ask you to share examples of new approaches that are working, ideas for what you'd like to do, and what you need to be successful. Thinking about your job in SSP, what are you already doing, or how might you do your work differently to best support the people we serve? Do you have ideas you want to try? Are there any barriers stopping you? Take a few minutes and write down your answers or send yourself an email. You'll need these answers for future discussions with your manager. After you've captured your answers, please click Next. Personal Action Plan. We will work with SSP managers in district and program leadership to provide support and clear guidance to ensure you have what you need to take action. After you complete this online module, we'll ask you to work with your manager to develop a unique Vision into Action personal plan, starting with your answers to the questions on the previous slide. Your personal action plan will reflect what you can do to best support the people we serve and will be incorporated in your Performance Accountability Feedback, or PAF, in Workday, the ODHS Human Resources System. Vision into Action Summary. Now you should be familiar with SSP's Vision into Action, its purpose, and your important role as we work together to implement it. Vision into Action guides our journey alongside the people we serve to end poverty in Oregon. It is our commitment to listen to and respect the experience of the people we serve, change policies and systems that don't work for the people we serve, and serve people where they are in life and work with them to achieve their goals. Vision into Action focuses our work on economic stability, mobility, and well-being for the people we serve. We lead with equity, partner and collaborate, honor lived experience, and create a supportive work culture. Putting this vision into action requires each of us to participate, share ideas and expertise. Think of one or two things that you can do in your role, no matter how small, to help further well-being for the people we serve. Work with your manager and your team to try those ideas out. Learn from them and keep adapting. Together, we'll support well-being for the people we serve in Oregon. We want to hear your questions, ideas, and examples of what's working. Send them to ssp.visionintoaction@odhs.oregon.gov. And thank you for all you do to serve the people of Oregon.